All right, Kenny, so since you've been starting out in golf training, you learning how to use the ground has become a very effective way. And tell us, I mean, you used to use steel when you were, bodybuilding.
Right.
What changed your mind on this? Because I don't think that would have been an easy sell.
No, in all the years of training with steel, and it was, again, what I made a living with, the bar was just always so rigid. And when you touch something that's rigid, subconsciously you become rigid. So when you have rigidity in the body, you have spasmosity in the body. That means that your natural flow as an athlete is taken away from you. So the first time I ever put my hands on the Tsunami Bar, I'm like, this thing is live. This thing's got a kick point. Well, I'd been playing around with shafts in golf, and I said, well, this shaft is too, it's too limpy. It's got too much whip in it. The kick point's not where I want it for my release point with my hands. Well, the Tsunami Bars are kind of the same way. We gear them toward a different workload. And in the workload, the heavier the workload, the stiffer the bar, right? But all the bars provide an unbelievable flexibility in what we call tsunami wave of contractibility. Well, what happens is, Terry, and for any athlete out there, you almost have to give yourself mental permission for your muscles to contract this fast. Right. Because unless we were doing Olympic lifting or plyometrics, we weren't moving our bodies with strength training very fast. Now, because of the application of this incredible technology, we can move any muscle in the body 680 and get some pliability and speed. So we're starting to get a kick for every bit of inertia we put into the bar.
Unbelievable.
So the harder you push, the harder it pushes back. The more you think you're stable, the more the bar becomes unstable.
Everybody in the market go to these bars immediately today.
Well, great analogy from you. You said all those guys would go to different shafts, and all of a sudden, because of their kinesthetic sense and feel, they would know the difference between a double X shaft and a regular shaft or a senior shaft, right?
Right.
Well, until people actually put their hands on a Tsunami Bar, they may or may not be sold. I wasn't sold, okay? I had to come over and have my old training partner for when I won one of those bodybuilding contests, who I trusted, say, is this thing legit? He said, well, get your ass up under there and do a few reps and let me tell you. So next thing I know, I put the bar in my hands, and of course I was using a big bar with weights on the side, but I was basically getting that bar to deflect and create a U shape, and all of a sudden I was feeling that neurological stimulation. I was feeling the 680 muscles fire so fast that my body didn't know what was going on. I was feeling my cardiac output go up. So I knew we had to have something that was incredible.
That's got to be incredible for the GRFs too, the ground reaction forces.
No doubt about it. So let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
So if we're talking about vertical power,
right?
In golf, there's 4 power systems. There's vertical power provided by the hips, knees, and ankles, right?
Right.
Then there's torso power, which we'll get to in a minute. Then there's arm chopping power. And then there's what happens between the elbow and the hands, how you release the club and how much speed you have in these secondary muscles right here. But vertical power is primarily either 1 or 2 on just about all the swings you see on tour. Some people get a little bit more from torso. Tiger is right now, because he said he couldn't use the ground like he used to because of his back and his surgeries. But most of the people that can use the ground want to use the ground. Well, what's better than taking an implementation, and once I start moving it, you can see my legs just starting to happen, and then all of a sudden I want to jump with it, and all of a sudden now you know what kind of force I'm putting into the ground because you measure it every day.
Exactly. Kenny Taylor, unbelievable. Okay, thank you so much, sir.